All right, today we are moving on to 4.4. That is writing linear equations in standard form. So let's just go through the three we've learned so far. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b was the y-intercept. That was called slope intercept form. That was from 4.2. That is the most important one we'll use. After we're done with this chapter, we're not going to use the other two much. This will constantly go back to when we get into graphing. Point slope form was y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. That was point slope form. Remember, m is still the slope. And then this was just a y1 and x1 were just points. Today, like I said, we are going into standard form. Standard form is going to be ax plus by equals c. All right, so this is standard form. Don't let all the variables confuse you. 1 second. All right, so when we're back to this, so in standard form, we have this A, B, and C. Those are all going to turn into numbers. This is just the form we write this in. Okay, so our first question says, it gives us this equation, 2x minus 6y equals 4. Notice that this is in standard form, something x plus, I know it says minus here, but that's like plus a negative, plus a number y equals a number. Notice how the a turned to a number, b turned to a number, c turned to a number. It wants us to write, for this problem, we want to write 2 equivalent equations. So we want to write 2 equations that are equivalent or equal to that. In order to do that, all we need to do is pick a number and multiply or divide by that number. So let's say an easy number to multiply by would be 2. So if we multiply each term by 2, that's an equivalent equation. So 4x minus 12y equals 8. That is equivalent. Another thing we could do, we could have multiplied by 3 and made it 6x minus 18y equals 12. Another thing we could do is divide. So let's divide each of them by 2. 2x divided by 2 is x, 1x or x. Negative 6y divided by 2 is negative 3y. And that equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. We wrote 2 equations that are equivalent to that. So to do that, we just multiply or divide each term by the same number. All right, this says write an equation in standard form of a line shown, and we don't see that line right now, which is fine. I'll just give it to you. So it wants it in standard form when the slope is -3, and then it gave us a point. The point they gave us was 0, 4. So they want us to write this in standard form. Write this in standard form. Here is how we do this. First thing we need to do is write in point slope form. First thing we need to do is write this in point slope form. Remember, that is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So we are just going to plug in for these three things. So it's going to be y minus 4 equals -3 times the quantity x minus 0. We just plug those in. So it is in point slope form now. We see that it's in point slope form. The next thing we need to do is start to solve this equation. Okay? So there's nothing we could do over here because we just have y minus 4. So we bring this down. Y minus 4 equals. Now we could use our distributive property to solve this. This is why it's important, the equations we did a couple weeks ago, to learn those for now. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times 0 is just 0. So now we have this equation here. We want it in this form. It is not in this form yet. In order to get it in this form, what do we need to do? We need to get our x over to the left side, and we need to get our c, or our number, to the right side. So in order to do that, we're going to add 4 to both sides. So now we have y equals -3x plus 4. Well, it's in slope-intercept form now, but we want it in standard form. In order to get in standard form, we just need to get this x over to the left side. How do we do that? Add 3x. So we're going to add 3x to both sides. We know we can't add them together because they're not like terms. 3x plus y equals 4. That is in point slope form. ax plus by, what is b? 1 equals c, a number. Let's do another one like that. Let me see if I have. Let's say m equals 5, and then our point will be 3, 2. So the first thing we do is write it in point slope form. So I'm going to use this. I'll rewrite this. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Sub our points in. So it's going to be y minus y1 is 2 equals m, which is 5, times the quantity x minus 3. I substitute these three things in. Remember what we did over here? Our next step would be to solve this equation with this distributive property. We bring down y minus 2. We're going to do 5 times x, then 5 times -3. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times -3 is -15. Notice this is a little different than the one that we just did because we have another number here. So bottom line is we want to get our x's and y to the left side, our numbers to the right side. So some of you guys could probably start doing these in smaller or less steps, but I'm just gonna keep on doing it the way I was doing it. I'm gonna add 2 here, add 2 here. So we're left with y equals, well, we can't add 2 to this one, but we could add it to the negative 15. 5x, negative 15 plus 2 is negative 13. Remember to get it in that ax plus by equals c form. We want to get the x to the left side. So we're going to get negative 5x plus y equals, what is that? Just negative 13 is left on this left side.